Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Thought for Shabbat. This evening we begin the holy day of Sukkot. It's really a week, the holy week of Sukkot, but the holiday begins tonight. And as many of you know, a sukkah is a temporary booth, a structure that the ancient Israelites used for shade and shelter as they crossed the desert on their journey to the Promised Land. It's also an opportunity for us to bring friends and family within our dwelling and celebrate this holiday. But there's a temporary nature, a fragile nature to the structure itself. And I can't help but wonder and think all the time that there are people who don't even have temporary structures over their heads, whether it's very hot out or whether very cold out. They have to be at one with the elements, and how tragic that is in our society. Here in Orange County, we think the numbers between 6,000 and 7,000 unhoused people, many of whom suffer from mental illness, but many who do not, who are simply one paycheck away from being homeless. If you think about the number of veterans that are homeless, it will break the heart. Here, people serve our country to keep us safe, and then when they come home, they're not safe themselves because they don't have the resources to afford permanent housing. There are many good people all across this state and this county trying to solve this problem. It seems to me a solvable problem. We have to wrap our arms around people and give them the opportunity to heal and to find work. And for those who are chronically mentally ill, to give them the structure and help they need to live however productive life that they can. Sukkot often is, for me personally, a painful holiday as well as a joyous holiday. Because on the one hand, I feel how blessed I am to have worked hard for the home that I have, and at the same time, to feel the pain and suffering of those who, for whatever the circumstance, are not able to have housing. I often recall the time I took our confirmation class to the soup kitchen, and one of the people who was receiving food at the soup kitchen that day said, "Are you the rabbi?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "I heard your synagogue was here. I'm Jewish." I said, "Well, how old are you?" He said, "I'm 45 years old." I said, "Oh, nice to meet you." He looked like he was 70 years old. I said, "How long you been on the streets?" He said, "About 30 years. I said, "Well, why 30 years?" He goes, "Well, when I was 15 or 16, my family kicked me out of the house, but I can still recite my Torah portion from my bar mitzvah." And the juxtaposition of this Jewish person who knew his bar mitzvah portion, suffering clearly from mental illness, had been on the streets for more than 3 decades or 2.5 decades at least, struck me that any one of us could be in this situation. And together as a community and as a society, and certainly as Jews, we have an obligation to help those who cannot help themselves. So do what you can to work on the issues of homelessness. Be kind when you see somebody who is suffering with homelessness, and make sure your heart connects with their heart as together we try and solve this problem and create a sukkah that everyone could dwell in. Please join us tonight at 7 p.m. for services in the sukkah in our backyard at the synagogue. Take care, be well, and Shana Tova, Chag Sameach, and Shabbat Shalom. Bye-bye.